Hi everyone, this is Crystal with LP Design and Little Pellets, and today in my art demo I'm going to show you how to use charcoal. So I'm going to flip the camera down. Alright, so today we're going to start with something basic. Right here I have some vine charcoal, and it comes in different shapes and forms and all of that. So as you can see, it's just thin. And sometimes you can even see little knots in it because this is actually from real wood that they've burned to make this into charcoal. So we're going to start with a basic shape today, and we're going to start with maybe, let's say, an egg. So this vine charcoal is really nice, and artists like it because they can erase it with their hand, and then they can come in here with a gummed eraser. Now you might be like, gum, that's gross. Well, it's not that kind of eraser. They call it gummed just because it kind of looks like gum, and you can come in here and you can erase. Now certain papers, this is a little more gritty paper, so it doesn't erase quite as well, but if I wanted to, I could. But most artists start with their picture with this vine charcoal. And then typically you're gonna pick where your light source is coming from. So let's say my light source today is coming from this direction. So anything on this side is going to be lighter, and as it goes further away, it's going to get darker. So I can come on the opposite side and I can make it a little darker. And I can blend this. These are great for blending. Remember, this is my very lightest spot, so I don't want to do too much to it. I also don't want to show too much there, so I'm going to do a gradation. And gradations are great in any type of art you're doing, whether it's drawing or painting. So it's always going to be from darker to lighter. You can also do like a dark, light, dark, or whatever you want for your picture. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm gonna make it kind of lighter, and I can smudge it with my finger. That's the great thing about this as well. And as it gets lighter towards that spot, I might want to make my circle a little bit lighter because you don't want it to be obvious. Now you can still see my underline. You could either draw over the top or whatever you want. I don't mind that's there. This is just a demonstration. So if I don't smudge it, it stays darker. But when I do smudge it, it gets lighter. And I still have some on my hand, so I might come in here and I'm gonna smudge it, and I wanna have a little bit more of an outline up here. Now you may ask, why do artists always seem to draw eggs? Well, one thing, it's a simple shape. Another thing, as the light hits it, it bows around it and it shows depth. So I'm going to come in here, maybe add a little bit more there. And I may even come and smudge a lot of it. Now, vine charcoal is great if you want a lighter drawing done, but if you want it to get darker, you want compressed charcoal. And there's different kinds of charcoal. Some are more powdery, some are more waxy. This is my compressed charcoal. As you can see, even on my hands, it becomes really dark quickly. So it's always nice if you have some paper towel or baby wipe. If you're using a baby wipe, you want to make sure your hands are dry before you start working on your picture again. So I'm going to come in here with this darker color, and it's going to make a nice edge for me. Oops. And sometimes you push too hard and they break, and that's okay too. And then I can come in here and I can smudge the edge a little bit. Now you want to wait to do this darker part until you're kind of finishing up your picture. There we go. Now, what you also may consider doing is adding a table. So, because I don't want my egg to be floating in the air, I'm going to add a table. And if I have a table, a surface that it's sitting on, Now, typically an egg doesn't just sit flat on its bottom, but in this instance it will. Since my light is hitting here, my shadow's gotta come to this side. So I could even draw a little light line to know where my shadow's hitting. It's touching in this area, and then I'm just gonna make an elongated egg shape. Okay, so when you have a shadow, the core shadow, that's the darkest part of the shadow, comes right under here, but so you can see it, a lot of times there's a reflective light that is right along this edge. So I'm gonna leave just a little bit of light there. Then I'm gonna do another gradation, darker to lighter, because as it gets further away, and if you look at shadows, the shadow where it hits more of the light, it's more hidden right here. But as it hits more light, it's gonna be lighter. So I'm gonna make this part my darkest part. Alright. My darkest part, and then I'm gonna start smudging. Now, if you don't like your hands to get messy, you could always use gloves, but it's also fun to get messy too. If you have sensitive skin, you may prefer to use gloves. There's a lot of different tools you can use with these as well. I'm just showing you the very basics today. And then once I kind of have that laid out how I want it, I can come in and make it really dark. Here's my core shadow. All right. And of course, depending on where your light is hitting, you may not have as an elongated. If it's more on top, you're gonna have a smaller shadow. Right now I'm using the side of it because I don't want it to be so dark, and I'm only pushing very lightly, just barely enough to even touch it. And then I'm smudging with my finger. As you can see, it gets a little bit messy. Oh, that got a little dark. I can always take my gummed eraser. And you don't have to have a firm, hard edge. Most shadows don't have a firm edge. Depends on how the lighting and how crisp it is, but it's okay if it's not too firm. I'll come back in here with my charcoal, smudge it a little bit more. And then I'm gonna come in here and just slightly smudge this so there's still a little bit of light, but it's not completely just white. I'm gonna come in here with a little shadow. As you saw that charcoal go, I just breathed on it. You wanna be careful how much you do that, especially if there's someone sitting right across from you. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed that art demo on how to use charcoal. It's very basic. I prefer using the charcoal that is more powdery, like I said, and less waxy. You can also include, like if you go too dark, you can use white charcoal as well. It's kind of fun to play with as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you have a great day. Happy demo, and I'm signing off. Bye guys, see you later.